Hi, my name is Jason Tardy, and I've been a professional juggler for over 26 years. And today, I want to teach you how to juggle 3 juggling balls. All right? Now, good luck with your juggling. Bye-bye. First thing you need to do is to have a set of juggling balls. So if you don't have any, there's a couple things you can do. I don't recommend juggling hard things like baseballs or rocks. Or something like that. You can get hurt pretty easy. Hacky sacks work great. You can obviously find cheap sets of juggling balls online. And actually, I even posted a video on how to make your own juggling balls out of everyday household items, which is right here. Hopefully, I know how to do that thing where you put in a video right there. But I'm going to show you the basic steps on how to get started with 3 juggling balls. And the one thing I want to point out before we do anything is that people think juggling is all about catching things. It's not. Juggling is really about throwing things. If you throw something correctly, it's going to land in your hand, right? Just like any other sport out there, it's all about controlling the ball, right? So throwing is way more important than catching. So when you're learning, drop like crazy. Don't worry about catching things. Worry about throwing them correctly. The catching will come on its own. All right. Another quick tip before we get started is a great way to learn this is get up against a bed or a couch or something like that. That does a couple different things. It'll stop you from moving forward, which sometimes can be a problem. But more importantly, it makes it so when the balls drop, they're going to land right there. They're not going to roll around everywhere. And you don't have to bend down as far to pick it up, which is great. Right? We don't need to bend down any more than we need to. So yeah, keeping it right there with a bed or a couch or something like that does make it actually a lot easier. That way you don't worry about dropping as much. So those are all kind of the basic things before we get started. So when you're throwing a ball, first thing, just get used to it, right? Throw the ball around a little bit, get used to how it feels, how it moves around, all right? But then once you get comfortable with it, there is an actual way you want to throw this ball, okay? And the way it works is this. You want to throw the ball higher than your nose, but no higher than you can reach, all right? I know a lot of times people try like this. They're like, look, I can control the ball really well, so they throw it really low. Or they're throwing it really high, right? Not a great idea. What I say is usually a little bit above your head is a great way when you're first learning to juggle. All right. And also, if you notice what I'm doing with my hands, I'm catching the ball and scooping in toward the middle and then releasing. So it's kind of like catch, scoop, 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 right? Also, you might notice that there's a couple points right here and right here that I'm hitting. And that's something to keep in mind. You don't want your face to be looking down at your hands. You want to be kind of keeping your head up like this with some good posture, hitting a point with my left hand that's right over here on my right side. And then with my right hand, I'm throwing to a point right over here on my left side. And if I'm kind of imagining those points in the air, it makes it really nice to get those throws to go the same height. And that's really important. With all this juggling we're trying to learn here today, it's all about being symmetrical. Whatever your left hand does, your right hand does. Whatever your right hand does, your left hand does. So that's the basic first step. It's just getting that throw back and forth to be the same height, right? Left, right, left, there. And you really want to have this step down before you move on, okay? Just like with all these steps, they build on each other. And if you try to go too fast, you might have a lot more problems than if you just slow down, take your time, and work on each step as you get to it and really master that step. The next step is the hardest part, okay? This is the part that people get stuck on. Because when they get 2 juggling balls in their hands, the first thing they want to do is this, right? Before a lot of my juggling classes, I ask, I go, oh, does anybody already know how to juggle? And some people raise their hands, some people won't. Some people are like, well, I can juggle too, and they do this. I wouldn't really consider that juggling, all right? The general rule for juggling, toss juggling, and all these rules can be broken, so don't hold me to this. I know people in the comments are going to go, that's not true. But basically, all right, overall, you need to have less hands than objects, right? So to juggle 2, the correct way, or the standard way, I should say, is like this, 2 in 1 hand, right? I have less hands than objects. If you want to juggle one thing, that might be bouncing off your knee, bouncing off your head, things like that. But what we're trying to do is actually get to 3. So this isn't even juggling yet. We're gonna have 2 hands, 2 objects. It's not gonna look like this. All right, that's the important takeaway. Don't do this. And if you do it, I do have some things that'll help you, okay? But this is what you wanna do. You wanna throw a ball just like you were, that little scoop, hit the point, right when it hits its peak. You wanna cross one underneath it, so it kind of makes an X, like this, all right? So it's gonna be like this, cross, cross, catch, catch. Let me back up so you can see the whole thing. Cross, cross, catch, catch, right? That is what it needs to look like. You want to go the same height. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a nice rhythm to it, okay? Right? If you're noticing you're going like this, right, 1 high and 1 low, or if you're doing this, the thing that I find that works the best, I mean, I've taught hundreds of people how to juggle, literally, maybe even thousands at this point. And the best thing that I've found that breaks this habit is try to start by throwing with your less dominant hand. So me, I write with my right hand, okay? So my less dominant hand would be my left hand. It's the one I'm not as good with, just in general. So if I start with my left hand, I do a nice throw. I can really think about it because it's the first throw. That one's in the air. When it's in the air, I have a little more time with my right hand to really go, oh, this hand knows what it's doing. Throw that one underneath. So sometimes it's better to go left, right, catch, catch. And in fact, if you're having trouble with this in any way, and sometimes I encourage people to do this before they even try catching it, just throw them. Don't even try to catch them. Just try to get those throws so they go the same 2 points, boom, boom, and it goes 1, 2, drop, drop, right? And if they drop and they're down near my feet and they switch places, the one went that way, one went that way, then that's a good start, right? You're getting the right idea. So by going throw, throw, drop, drop, and they're landing down near my feet, that's great. Because again, it's all about having good throws. And having good throws will equal great catches later, right? Don't worry about catching. Worry about getting those throws right. The catching is going to happen on its own. So again, it looks like this. Throw, throw, catch, catch. You can go right, left, catch, catch. You go left, right, catch, catch, either one. And in fact, I encourage you to work on both. But if you're really having trouble with this, or if you're throwing 1 high and 1 low, try starting with your non-dominant hand. Left, right, catch, catch. Okay? And this is the most important step. I was trained, myself and my brother Matt, were both trained by Mike Micklon. I was 15 at the time when I started learning how to juggle. And he had us do this step. Throw, throw, catch, catch. 15 times without ever dropping before we were allowed to try 3 juggling balls, okay? So it is a really important step. If you don't have this step down, going on to 3 is gonna be much, much harder. Also, if you want, and you're having a real hard time with juggling balls, juggling scarves are a great way to go as well. And I know you can make juggling scarves. A lot of times it's easier just to buy a cheap set of juggling scarves. It's a little bit different because you're kind of moving your arms back and forth. But for really young kids, sometimes it's a great way to get that accomplished feeling where you're actually getting something. I know with my son, he's 8 and he can juggle 3 scarves and actually now 4 scarves. And he can do a little bit with balls, but he really likes the scarves better because they're easier, right? But again, this is the most important step. Really work on that. Right, left, left, right. So you really get that down, all right? And then a couple other things that you might be doing is you might be reaching up for the ball. Don't reach up. Keep your hands down, okay? Gravity is going to do its thing. That ball's going to come down. If you're noticing you're throwing way out here, like one's here and then one's out here, usually what I find that means is you're throwing the ball out because you're waiting too long. So this ball goes up, that's when I throw my second one. If you throw the ball up and then it starts coming down, then you're going to be rushed. And you're going to have to kind of get it out really quick. And you don't have time to throw it so it stays like that. So it wants to be flat, right? You don't want to be doing this. It wants to be side to side. You scoop, scoop, like that. And again, I dropped, but I don't care. So that's the basic step with 2. All right, now this is where it gets tricky. But if you have that 2 ball throw, the exchange, this isn't that much harder. okay? I promise you it's not. If you really have that step down, this step is not that much harder. So I'm gonna put 2 balls in the hand I'm gonna start with, 1 ball in the other hand. No matter how many times I say this, somebody starts with the hand with 1 ball and they go like this and they cannot figure out what's happening. And the reason why is because it's not going to work. All right. It's not going to work for you if you're doing that. So put 2 in your start hand, 1 in your other hand. I usually think it's easier to start with your dominant hand. But again, if you're having weird problems, mix it up. Try your non-dominant hand. We're going to do the same thing you just did. Cross, cross, catch, catch. All right. Cross, cross, catch, catch. This time, when the second ball, that one, right, hits its peak, I have the 3rd ball right here in my start hand. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to cross it, right? It's going to cross over. So just like before, but instead of going cross, cross, catch, catch, you're doing 3 crosses. So it's right, left, right. And now I can go left, right, left. And sometimes I see people go like this. They just want to get them all out of their hands super fast. That's going to make it really hard. A lot of people, I watch them trying to learn 3 and I'm like, you're throwing at a 5-ball juggling speed. You need to just slow it down a little bit, right? So there's a balance between waiting too long and throwing too quickly. But for me, it's 1, 2, 3, like that. And again, I drop. So look at the camera. But that's called a flash. If you can do 3 throws and 3 catches with 3 objects, that's a flash. If you do 4 throws, 4 catches with 4 objects, that's a flash with 4. So it's not quite juggling yet, all right? But getting this feels pretty good, right? And if you ever do this 1, 2, 3, make sure again, you start with a hand with 2. So either start with your other hand or switch them back, whatever works better for you. All right, now, if you really want to juggle, the idea is that you have to have, if you have 3 objects, you need to do 6 catches. All right, if you double the number, you're officially juggling. So to juggle 4 things, you need 8 catches. To juggle 5 things, you need 10 catches. So this is what that looks like. It's the same thing. Every time a ball goes up to its peak, I cross one underneath. And remember, we kind of have those 2 points right there. So you just cross, cross, cross. So watch this. This is what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that was 6 throws. I was counting the throws. I'll count the catches this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is officially juggling 3 balls. And again, all I'm doing is right, left, cross, 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 going back and forth. Every time a ball hits its peak, I cross the next one underneath, back and forth. And that is the basic steps on how to juggle 3 balls. Now, if you have any questions, you want some tips, you want to show me how that looks, feel free to email me, jason@jasontardy.com. Check out my website, jasontardy.com. Find me on social media @jasonjuggles or comment in the video and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. But hopefully you guys have fun learning how to juggle. I've had a lot of fun with it over the years. There's a lot of tricks you can learn and maybe later I'll make some more tutorials. So hopefully you guys had fun here today and see you later. Good luck with your juggling. Bye-bye.
In the now. Here, Jake, you have this moment.